Hi, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Leo. Welcome back to Yoga with Lynn and Leo.
And welcome to our tutorial today. Today we're going to be working on the leg lift, Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. And all you need is a wall. Okay, we have actually got a pose directory on this pose, but with props, and today we're not using so many props. We're just going to use... We haven't?
I don't think so.
Well, I thought we had a pose directory. Well, there will be one coming out soon with props. Okay. Okay, so how we're going to work with this is to get a little bit of understanding of the environment for the leg lift. So we need to be very broad and open in the back of the pelvis. So we're coming for Vrutshasana, so we're just going to go back to the wall. And how this is so important is that the angle will help to manipulate the lower back. So when you take your right leg into a Vrutshasana action, what we want to do here is to not complete the pose, but to use the pose. So we're using the pose for our lower spine, and to do that, we need to see that we weight down with the thigh itself. So we're really applying some weight and opening, so we're realigning all those fibers. And then we want to open the front groin. So we have to see that we just nudge the leg back, just little nudges back. So you can see here, just very small, that's it. So the leg's got to come back. So when you come into this, so this has got to go back like this has got to go back. So this has got to go back, yes, this sort of nudge. So you have to see you've got the support. So this thigh is moving, this thigh is moving, and then of course it moves even more when you come into the Ardha Padma Padmottanasana. So you can feel that action. So from there, you're getting quite a lot of opening in the hip. Okay, so we're going to come to the other side now. Okay, so we don't want to sit in our stiffness. So if you've got knee difficulties, it's a completely different thing, because we have to work slightly differently with belts maybe in the leg, or slightly different setup for this pose. But when we're here, we want to see that the hips are facing directly forward, so this way, so this action. So this is the true image of this leg. So there's a bit of tightness here. We've got to weight down right the way down. You can see that length coming in this hinge now. So now we see that we push and we just get those tiny little actions moving back like that. And then we'll try and weight the leg down again. So we're using this for our lower back. We try and weight this leg down again. Go and see. So you've got to really push that knee towards, yes. You can feel the opening. And then this inner thigh's got to, yes. So you can see that the hips start to open. So it's quite a challenging action, but also it gets you supported. And again, it's a balance, which we're going to come into in Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. So releasing down. Okay, so it's quite strong, isn't it?
Yes.
So we're going to come with the right leg first of all. So we're going to turn, so we're going to be sideways to camera. Okay, so I'm just going to come around this side. So when you come into this action, have the wall. Now don't worry about straightening the leg. I know you will want to. It's so easy to just straighten the leg, but we don't want to do that because we want to use this pose to get a little bit more mobility in the back. So first of all, we're going to pick up the right leg and catch the big toe. Now again, as we said, if you struggle with this, then of course using the wall is very helpful, but we will bring out another tutorial which will show a few more props. So when you're in this position, you need to see that this is not coming with you. This has got to go down. This crease has got to go down. So although this comes up, So we hold this. Sometimes mentally, this soft tissue fibre, it becomes really, really strong, and we just hold it very tightly. So you want to see that this area deepens, this lengthens, because you want to get into that femur head from weighting that area. And then we start to keep this leg absolutely where it is, keep the hip where it is, and see where the leg comes. And you can see that this straightens. Take the hand up a little bit more up the wall. That's it. So now we have to see that I'm just holding Leo's foot here, but she needs to draw it deeply back and then concentrate on the lift up. And then we go up, the legs become straighter. So it's a dynamic action, it's a very, very strong action, but you've got to keep the root of the thigh absolutely connecting. So it's quite nice when you've got somebody holding your foot, but do aim for coming to that classic action and then releasing. Very strong action. Other side. It's just about oiling the joints, and as they become a little bit more lucid, then you'll be able to get a little bit further in this pose. But don't worry, don't worry if the leg's not straightening straight away. Just work on it. It's part of our development. We can't always be in the poses that we want to practice completely. We just have to see that there is a little bit of a process that goes into that. So bending the left leg, and then catching hold of the big toe and lifting up. And go and see that you're lifting up through the centre of the body and keeping that connection with the root. The root has got to really deepen its action because you want to lengthen the whole of the back of the pelvis and keep that grounded. So it's just really the shin that lifts up. So go and see if you can start to lift this leg. Oh yeah. So I'm going to just give a little bit of support here for Leo and then holding on. So sometimes when we are introduced to certain poses, particularly the classic poses, they can be challenging. They are a process. It is a journey. So just take your time with it. The leg's not straightening straight away. Don't worry. Just keep on with your standing poses and it will come eventually. And yes, now we're done, and releasing. Okay.
So it's a tough pose, that one, and if it's a difficult pose for you, then I think that we're going to have to do a tutorial on this pose with a little more prop work.
Yeah,
a lot of our students.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it very, very tough, as you can see. A lot of our students find it a very difficult pose to do. So
we'll check that out to see if
we'll have a look. We'll see if we've got something in the back catalogue, and if we do, then we'll put it in the description. If we don't, then we'll bring one out in the next few weeks. Okay. So thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you will be doing the sequence that contains this pose, which will be coming out next week. Thank you for joining us today. Namaste.